Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. So today we have a different video because we are working on the S15 and hopefully I'm going to show you guys some things that you can do on your car because it mainly applies to every single car out there. We have a big trip up. At the moment I don't know whether you're seeing this before or after the Japfest video because we're going to Japfest. But with that being said, I've wanted to have a few service things done on the S15 and you know that if you go to a mechanic they're going to charge you a lot for it, so we're doing them ourselves. And I've done some of these things before and hopefully you guys can maybe learn a little bit about your car. So without further ado, we have obviously an oil filter. You know what's going to happen if you've got an oil filter. We've also got a chain tensioner from Nissan, which means that we're changing the chain tensioner because it's been making a little bit of a funny noise. If you hear a bit of a noise when you start up your engine sometimes, or if you hear a bit of a funny noise under load, then that can be due to the chain tensioner being a bit off. Because over time, these are not mechanical, these are spring loaded, so sometimes the spring obviously clogs up or it stops moving and it doesn't have any tension on the chain. So in order to do that, we need to take the rocker cover gasket or rocker cover off, which means the rocker cover gasket may as well get changed. You can reseat it, but I prefer to just put a whole new one, and we have just received it right now. So we've got a new one, and for the middle section, I've just got some brand new oil in the car, and also I've noticed a small little leak from the blow-by valve, which means that there's a little bit of a blockage there or possibly some build-up of carbon. And generally speaking, you can clean that out, so we're going to give that a good go today. Make sure there's nothing blocking it so that it can recirculate. A lot of people end up putting catch cans for oil, but because this is NA and it doesn't necessarily put out too much power, we're not going to be worrying about a catch can just yet. So what we're going to be doing is cleaning that out, making sure some of the piping is all clean so that we don't have to worry about anything and that it will run smoothly after a good service going up to Silverstone, which is about a 2.5–3 hour drive. Without further ado, we're going to jump right into it after I've had a coffee in my lovely Japan mug. So good. First things first is we need to jack the car up, and if you saw in one of the previous videos, I put it on like just a single block of wood, but I thought because I kept still struggling to get underneath the side skirt, I put it on like a bit of 2x4. Is this 2x4? I don't know, but a bit thicker, like double the thickness of this. So it should give us a little bit more room under here to be able to access underneath. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this side up and then I'm going to do the other side. So that is the plan. We're going to just drain the oil. For some reason I can't find the sealant for the gasket, like the gasket sealant. Obviously that's what it's called. I will find it. I just need to get the car up first. So we're gonna do that and then, oh my god, it's bright. And then on we go. Just thought I'd show you that we're now emptying the oil. It doesn't look the worst, but hey ho. So here we have it, the old oil. I've run a light through it and nothing metallic, it's just old oil, so that's good. We put the drain plug back on, and now our next mission, I believe, is to get to the oil filter. I can't remember how I did it last time. I swear all the time whenever you try and get an oil filter off somewhere, of a car, it's like the least fun thing. It's always like really tight to get to. So we're going to do that. I might lower the car back down, depending on if I can get to the chain tensioner and the oil filter or not. I can't quite remember. So we're going to have a little look now, and then what we're going to do is we're going to remove the strut brace so that we can get access to the rocker cover. We're going to unplug everything, and then we're going to sort everything out. So I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but right in here is where the chain tensioner is. You can kind of see, I'll zoom in like in post for you guys, but you can kind of see, if I just brighten this a little bit, there you go, you can see here, right here, that's where the chain tensioner is that we need to get off, and then down here, under here, oh you won't be able to see it, oh you can kind of see it, that's where the oil filter is, so that's where we're going to get to. Oh my god, it's so bright. So we have now got the old oil filter off right here, and we've got the new oil filter which will be going on. Now when you want to put a new oil filter on, it's very important that you get some of the new oil and you rub it around the rim here so that it seats it nicely and it seals it better. Plus it goes on a little bit easier. So what we're using for this, all you S chassis people might disagree, but we are using 5W40. In the manual it says to use 10W40, but because it's a little bit colder here, we're going to use 5. So obviously we've now disconnected all the breather hoses, we've taken off any external bits that were holding onto the actual engine, and then we're going to take it off in sequence after we've taken out all of these. And then yeah, so I think we start off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go to the back, and then we go middle, sides, and then lift off. All bolts have been taken out, so now we're going to take this off. So I'm kind of switching between the camera and this because it's easier to pick this up. We've got the valve cover off. Everything looks healthy. It is definitely due an oil change, so we're going to clean everything up. Luckily we can reuse the rocker cover gasket because we only did it a year ago and it's looking pretty good. So we're just trying to do the timing chain tension now, but it's very tight, so excuse the lack of footage. So now we've put this latch on the pin, which is very important, otherwise you won't be able to push this in, and you need to make sure that it connects properly down there, if you can see that. Just to show you guys where we're at, we've got the new one in. It is pretty tough to get in there if you're on, well, if you've still got like the fan shroud and everything, but it is pretty straightforward, so you can literally just put it back in. And then what we've got to do is turn the crank anti-clockwise a bit to release the pin that's there, if you can see that, and then it should spring out onto the tensioner. So as you can see, everything is now pretty much back together. We don't have the strut tower bar back in. Everything's plugged up. I've cleaned out this hose. All of the ignition, or you know, the coil packs are back in. So hopefully we're all good. I'm just about to put some oil in here and fingers crossed. This car should take, with the new oil filter, about 3.3 to 3.5 litres. So we're going to go for it. That last bit wasn't very good. Okay, so everything is now back together. We've got the strut bar back on. We've filled it up with oil. We've buttoned everything up. Check the oil level. It's a little bit more, but it still needs time to soak in and run through the engine, so that should be okay, right? Should be okay. So I know I've rushed through a lot of things today and I haven't really done a good job of filming it, but hopefully you've picked up something. It's actually quite easy to work on cars. It's just reading the manual, knowing what to do. Don't get too ahead of yourself, and if you need help, just ask or try and find someone on the forums. I really actually enjoy this. It's nice to do stuff with your hands, and although yes, it takes a bit longer than it needs to sometimes, you know that you're doing it and you're not overcharging someone, and you learn something. So that's the main thing with it. So we're going to start it back up. Everything is good. So it's all good, it's running okay. Sounds healthy, so I'm just going to let it warm up and pack all of this away. So that is going to be it for this video. As you can hear, the engine's running. We're just letting it warm up, get to temperature, circulate the oil. Although it's got some residual oil, we're just going to let it circulate the new oil, breathe a bit, love it. I think it's okay. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and don't miss out on any upcoming videos because there's a lot coming on this year, which I'm really excited about. Thank you again so much for watching. Peace out and stay lucky.